I knew you were coming today.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it.
Usually, one of the things that Las Vegas, one of the things that we usually do in Las Vegas when I go to another city is to give the speaker or host the shirt off my back. But because I'm wearing a tank top today and I didn't bring my other shirt, I can't do that right now. So what I'm going to do is offer you one of our ribbons that we use and carry on our wrist. It's a Fight for 15. And
So I just want to interrupt you to say this. Look, you're from Las Vegas. My family now. I said my grandmother died in Las Vegas. My father died in Las Vegas. My mom still lives there. They worked to found the Las Vegas Urban League. Okay. They're very much engaged in activism, so you know that. So I'm proud to be with you in Nevada. Oh, this is awesome. This is awesome. All right.
And I lived in New Jersey for 9 years. My name is Harold Washington Carnes. I'm 58 years old from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm now living in Las Vegas, Nevada. I am a fast food worker and I have been one for 20 years. I recently joined with other fast food workers here in Las Vegas and across the country to fight for better pay in my America. As a black man, I have struggled to take care of my family, being the sole breadwinner due to my wife not working. I've had to get outrageous payday loans to keep my family from being put out on the street. I've had to work overtime to pay them off and still pay bills on $8.50 an hour. I've even worked holidays without so much as a thank you or even a pay increase. Right now, I am responsible for this young man right here, who's my grandson, Chance.
All right, Chance.
And what I'm saying to you is, if I continue to struggle as a man, as a husband, as a father, and as a grandfather, what chance does my grandson Chance have when he grows up? Will a low-paying job, jail, or death be his future? Families all over the Mountain West are suffering right now. We're struggling real hard to try to make ends meet. My pay, just like their pay, does not go any further than what it does. Okay? There are families that are being headed by immigrants, blacks like myself, and single mothers who are suffering and need help real bad. My pay, like I said, isn't what it used to be, isn't even close to what it used to be. And I want to know what Secretary Clinton, as president, what she will do for families like mine and my grandson in the Mountain West.
Thank you very much. So I flew into Iowa to go help Secretary Clinton, and we had a campaign stop. And I roll with lots of politicians on campaign stops. But she was interested when we were at this diner about the people working in the kitchen. And when our server came up, it wasn't just niceties. The conversation immediately went to, hey, you got kids? She said, yes. She goes, I'm a single mom. And she was supporting 2 kids. And then she just went on what her story was. She works this job full time, making tipped wage. And on top of that, she has to work another job just to try to make ends meet. And I already know what happens to Americans who work in the food service industry. About 10% of Americans is how they get jerked around with shifts, how they get jerked around with tips. There's so much fraud and abuse in the system the way it's structured right now.
Yes, it is.
And so this is the affront to America. When the idea of the minimum wage in the 1960s was put in place, if we had pegged that to actual inflation, and the cost of living increases, it would be 30% higher right now. If we had pegged it to productivity, it would be even dramatically higher than that. And so we know that productivity has increased in this country. We know that inflation and costs have gone up in every way. But where has all that money gone that are being earned? Where's all the earnings done as our economy has grown? They have not gone to working people in this country. And so what is offensive to Hillary Clinton, and this is when I sit with her and I watch her face when she's talking to somebody and I see the anguish in her eyes, is that the deal in America is not working anymore, and we need to do the basic obvious things, which are policy decisions, to shift that. The fundamental floor is to raise the minimum wage. And don't let people separate. You started out, we here in Nevada. It's not we. It's all of us in America, whether you're in Newark, New Jersey, in Atlanta, Georgia, whether you're in Southern California. We're all in this together, and it's going to take all of us to push to fight to increase the minimum wage. But HRC does not want to stop there. What she says is we need to start making sure that people have pathways towards career development at every stage of their life. And that's these targeted investments that I'm proud that she has a focus on, which is saying we need to invest so that everybody has access to skills and training that doesn't bankrupt your family, where you can still work but start getting the skills you need to get the jobs in the 21st century. And we need to not simply wait and hope. We don't need to simply stop and wait and hope that those jobs suddenly materialize. That's the thing. King said so eloquently, change does not roll in on the wheels of inevitability. This idea that the private market will take care of everything is one of the perversions. We need to start doing what our competitors are doing and investing in those industries like the new energy industry.
Come on.
There are more people right now that are employed by solar than are employed by coal. But yet, where are all the tax breaks going? All they're going is to the old energy that is not only not producing the jobs it used to produce, but it's also polluting our atmosphere and undermining our children's future with asthma and other environmental crimes. And so I will say right now, to have a president like HRC who's fought for tax breaks not for old energy, but for new energy, who's fought for training and job programs that get people ready for 21st century jobs, and that says if you are working a full-time job in this country, you should not be poor. If you're willing to roll up your sleeves, work, and sweat, you should have a solid middle-class life. And that doesn't just mean the minimum wage, it means the other things that are important to a family, like sick leave. One of the hardest things I hear is, look at Chance there, is if Chance gets sick, you know how many families in America, how many moms have to make this awful, tragic choice to decide between whether I stay and try to get a paycheck or whether I be home with my kid. That choice should never be a choice, because her having to make a tragic choice is a tragedy for all of us in this country, because we don't get the benefit when a mom is not there for a sick child from that child growing up and being able to contribute to us all with his genius. Thank you. Thank
you. Senator Booker, I want to do another follow-up on this question, because we've been having a really, in this interesting way, a sustained conversation about inequality and the rigged rules of the economy for the last couple of years. I would argue since Occupy in 2011, and we've kept, and I think the conversation is continued. How do you, on behalf of Secretary Clinton, thread the needle between talking about targeted investment and talking about the experiences of indigenous communities, Black communities, Latino communities, and also talking about the problems of poor rural white communities, linking that to the broader middle class? How do you thread the needle? How should we be thinking about and talking about the specific concerns of particular communities, while also still trying to understand the broader issues of a rigged economy in our country?
But that is the insidious nature of our politics, is that somehow when I'm on TV and I'm watching a rally for one of the other candidates, and I see people who are making $30,000, $40,000 a year showing up and cheering for candidates that I know now 2.5 years in the Senate, I see what the Republican Party is fighting for. I watched in this last omnibus spending bill that we paid for, where my side, we fought for expansion of the things that Hillary Rodham Clinton fought for at the beginning. The child care tax credit that was a part of the Clintons' legacy, the earned income tax credit, one of the best parts of the Clinton legacy. And we were fighting to extend them and increase them. We were in the tranches. And then when I looked at the tax breaks of the Republican Party, what they were fighting for was more tax breaks for the wealthiest of the wealthy, more tax breaks for old industries like oil and gas and the finance industry. And so for those people in the Republican Party who are making $30,000 and $40,000 a year, who don't understand that there is a party of inclusion, that doesn't care if you're black, white, don't care if you're Muslim or Mexican, if you are an American of this country, we all should be fighting for you, opening our arms wide, joining together, because at the end of the day, the destiny of this country is a common destiny. It's not a white destiny or a black destiny. And to split us up with the lie that the other party has a better vision for economic empowerment, we have lost what made America great for families of old. When you could get a quality public education in this country and not see what's happening in states like this to public education, where you could get a pathway to college that was affordable, that you could live in the middle class lifestyle where you work your entire life and you get a pension where you can retire in security and dignity. We still have a nation, and I watch Hillary Clinton get a little upset about this, and then people accuse her of shouting too much. Well, damn it, I want to shout too. The fact that we still have 5 million senior citizens living in poverty because their meager Social Security checks don't cover it. And people want to complain about the idea of expanding Social Security while the other side wants to privatize it, voucherize it, or eliminate it. And so the party that needs to promote the unity of interests is got to be the Democratic Party. And again, this is why I love the history of the Clintons. I'm from inner city, the Northeast. And this is before elections, before politics. And again, I admitted to you guys, I was an Obama supporter. But to still have the Clintons reaching out to me to talk about the issues that are not sexy. And I'm saying stop here, but somebody try to come up on the stage right now and stop me from saying this. Because we live in a new Jim Crow. We live in a society right now where we have 5% of the globe's population, but 1 out of every 4 imprisoned people on the planet Earth is in the United States of America. And I'm telling you right now, please know who they're imprisoning. They're imprisoning poor people, the mentally ill, the drug addicted, and overwhelmingly, disproportionately brown people and people of color. I'm telling you right now, there's no difference in this country between blacks and whites and Latinos in using drugs. No difference whatsoever. But if you are poor, if you are black or Latino in this country, Latinos twice more likely to be arrested for drugs, for doing the things that the last 2 presidents admitted to doing. If you're black, almost 4 times as likely. And that's why in states from New Jersey to Vermont, where there's less than 1% black people in Vermont, but the prison population is 11% minority, 11% black. That's why when the Clintons come to me and say to me before campaigns, we want to roll up our sleeves and start working with you to end mass incarceration. What can we do? We need a revolution. And people do not understand that the real revolution is not about slogans, because this revolution won't be televised. It won't be televised. This revolution has to happen in the hearts and minds of the people themselves who believe enough is enough about the things that we don't talk about. And so for having Hillary Rodham Clinton make her first policy speech, not about what the polls tell you to speak about, but for her to speak immediately to one of the biggest injustices going on in our midst, a broken criminal justice system, for her to have real pragmatic solutions to a guy that has been sponsoring multiple pieces of legislation in just 2 years in the Senate, that makes me understand. And I'll say this to conclude on this point. Villanova just came out with a study. You want to end poverty in the United States? If our incarceration levels were the same as other industrialized countries, we would have 20% less poverty in America. And why is that? Because if you so much as have a drug arrest for possession of the drugs that the last 2 presidents said they were using, if you have so much as a drug arrest, not even a conviction, your chances of getting a job in America go way down. And so I'm just saying right now, we need to start talking about the real solutions to our problems and what's undermining our country and what is separating us from developing the kind of coalitions necessary to make real change.
I'm certainly not going to stop you from saying that. What I will say, and thank you for bringing up the bipartisan nature of 2 ex-presidents and drug use. I just wanted to remind our audience and our viewers, my questions are nonpartisan. This is a nonpartisan event, so we just have to do that for legal reasons, but I appreciate your answer. Who we have up next is